Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the New Music
New
Podcast.
music.
We took a bit of a break in between weeks here,
Bit of a break.
and we're back now. We got some pretty exciting albums to share with you this week. The first one being a pretty long awaited comeback. Micah, what album do we got here?
We have Mike Shinoda's side project, Linkin Park here, From Zero,
Yes, we do.
coming back at us with album of the year.
Oh, really? You think so, huh?
No, I don't get all the hubbub is about this album. It's okay.
It's just kind of the fact that it's Linkin Park coming back after, of course, the unfortunate event of Chester passing away. There was quite a massive Linkin Park hiatus. People weren't really sure they were ever going to come back at all. And now they have come back, and it is, of course, controversial, as these things go.
People were so grumpy about it. It was just like, brother chill.
Yeah, I unfortunately find the reaction to this album from people talking about Linkin Park online to be exactly the reaction that I would expect from people talking about Linkin Park online.
That's fair. Yeah, man, I just was never a fan.
Yeah.
And I recently went back. I listened to Hybrid Theory after a 20-year hating on it for 20 years. Didn't end up finishing it or giving it like a very good listen, but I liked it.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was good. It's good.
Yeah, this has kind of always been a dynamic with us where I literally got into music because of Linkin Park, and they've been one of my favorite bands for longer than I can remember, and then Mike is over here just like hating on Linkin Park despite not knowing most of their music, and it's just always been the vibes. So
Well, I've heard the entirety of Hybrid Theory and Meteora in passing.
yeah,
Like a gazillion times.
of course,
I was alive in 2007.
it's pretty unavoidable. Their first two albums, everybody's heard In the End, everybody's heard Numb, etc. We got new singer in here, Emily Armstrong.
AKA the singer of Dead Sarah, or who used to be.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dead Sarah is still a thing, but that is where she came up originally, was the band Dead Sarah. She was a pretty controversial pick due to some things that were dug up around her, and I know that turnaround of, oh, now it's a controversy, happens so fast just because there's gotta be so many people pissed that the new Linkin Park singer is a woman. Maybe this is a weird take from me, but I think that feels kind of obvious.
Yeah, I've seen people straight up being like, "You a woman?"
Yeah, right.
I mean, this album's not great, but you don't gotta shit on it just because you can't replace Chester with just anybody.
Right. I guess they're not really looking at it as a replacement in how they've...
No.
It's kind of not exactly a replacement depending on how you want to look at it, but
Yeah.
as someone in the place of Chester in the band, doing the harsher vocals, doing the lead vocals in general, I think she does pretty good here.
Yeah, definitely. And real quick, I just noticed this about all the albums. All the albums are like fucking like white and black era, and then like just always like dark.
Like dark color scheme?
You know what I mean? Like they're all like dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the new album, new singer, pink.
Yeah, this is obviously trying to be a very different thing, because
Yeah.
you usually had a lot of that like monochrome type deal going on with their older covers.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, a lot of black and white, that sort of thing, and now we're doing something new, putting a bunch of color into it, and it is kind of a different sound, I guess, but it seems like it calls back to a lot of their earlier stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into some callbacks?
Yeah.
I think I've heard some, but I just didn't know what from because you have played random shit around me. I remember you showing me Underground V2. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, the underground albums, the fan club things. Yeah, I picked up on a couple of things in the reaction video I wanted to mention here too that I thought was really cool. The main thing is, at the end of Overflow, it sounds like he's like flipping through some tapes or something along those lines, like there's stuff clicking in and out. One of the brief couple of seconds there is actually from their original demo tape under the band name Zero. That's how they started, and then you can hear just this little guitar riff in there, and it's the start of one of the songs on that tape.
That is really interesting, actually.
Yes, kind of ties into the album being titled From Zero. It's making like a direct callback to the band Zero, the band name they had before.
I never knew they were called.
Yeah, it was Zero with an X.
That's crazy.
And I didn't note this in my reaction video, but I did have the thought. It kind of feels like it's hopping through all the eras of Linkin Park and doing songs that could have fallen onto each album. Because there's quite a heavy amount of variety from track to track.
Yeah, which was definitely a plus for it. I was worried it was going to be samey rock the whole time and boring as fuck, and I was going to be asleep.
Right, yeah. Run into a situation like the last Pearl Jam, maybe? That's what's coming to mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was worried about.
It definitely covers a lot of ground. I mean, if I go down the line, I was always saying that the Emptiness Machine sounds like Living Things. Cut the Bridge would have been at home on Minutes to Midnight. Heavy as the Crown would have been good on Meteora. Over Each Other sounds like One More Light. I could go on. The ones that call back to the oldest stuff are Two-Faced and IGYEIH, or I Gave You Everything I Had, whichever way you want to say it.
Wait, did you say the song Over Each Other sounds like you've got one more light?
Yeah.
Didn't you hate that song?
Yeah, One More Light is the worst Linkin Park album by far.
Their worst? That's really funny. That explains why this album's such a mixed bag, because they're like, here's our bad shit.
Yeah, they called back to everything, it feels like, including the missteps.
Yeah.
I feel like every song here, though, you could tie it to an old Linkin Park album, and besides the fact that Chester isn't on the song, it sounds like it could have been on that album.
Oh, I got you. I didn't draw those connections because wasn't too familiar, but that's actually super interesting. I'll have to maybe go through and listen to some old Linkin Park, see what about their next project.
Yeah.
So they're making more, right? Like this is like the start of something.
Presumably, yes. I mean, I would imagine it comes years down the line, but I don't think they're planning on just doing this album and then leaving it closed past that. They're doing such a huge tour and everything. Really feels like the big comeback rather than like a reunion celebration type deal.
All right. Good. What was your favorite track? 'Cause mine's gonna have Emptiness Machine.
Emptiness Machine is great. It got me really excited for the album right when it came out as the lead single. Honestly, I'm shocked to say that both of the first two singles were overshadowed by Two-Faced on here. I think Two-Faced is the best Linkin Park song that's come out since like Living Things. Probably if we went all the way back to Meteora, it's like on par. Two-Face sounds awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that song was really good. That was like my second favorite.
Yeah, Heavy as the Crown being kind of the Meteora type sound was really cool. Did you like that one?
That's a good song too. You just named all the tracks I liked.
Yeah, anytime they do something a little heavier, it ends up being better.
Yeah, a bit of a stinker, which we mentioned earlier. Over Each Other.
Yeah, first of two really poppy sounding songs on here.
Over Each Other ends up being my least favorite on this one.
Same here.
I was about to say, I'm assuming that's yours too.
Yeah, it made me really nervous to hear the album with that being the third single and the last one that came out before it.
I believe I ended up not listening to it because you said it was bad, and I was like, alright, Linkin Park needs all the favors they can get from me right now.
Yeah, just a really generic poppy sounding song that seems like anybody could have made it. That's my big problem with it, is it doesn't really give me anything.
Yeah, it's just kind of bland and boring. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
I gave it a 2 originally, but I think that was just the disappointment for me that was making it that low.
Yeah, that seems a little extreme.
It's more deserving of like a 3 or 4, but even then, that's not really very high.
No.
I also did not care at all for Stained.
Which one was that one? I thought that one was just mid.
It's definitely mid. It's pretty similarly poppy to Over Each Other, but I don't think it does anything better than it for the most part.
That's fair. I think at that point in the album, I had just heard Two-Face, so I was more of in a Linkin Park mood.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's easier to be a little bit more on the positive with that one. The main vocal melody just pisses me off for some reason.
Oh, that's totally fair. Yeah, it sounds like Imagine Dragons just a little bit.
Yeah, really just any of the like radio pop, whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
radio rock stuff. It just gets under my skin. I would always skip that one if I'm gonna listen to the whole thing.
You're like, no, Linkin Park, no, you gotta be my edgy e-boy music. None of this pop shit, pop rap shit.
It is the generic complaint to be like, ew, Linkin Park went pop, because that happens so many times, but I feel like this and One More Light are the examples of that actually going really poorly.
That's really funny. Do you have any more thoughts on this album? Any thoughts and prayers?
I don't know. I feel like I could go on about it forever just because of the Linkin Park nerd that I am. Oh, I am curious to see what you think about Casualty.
I give that one a 5 out of 10.
Oh, really? You didn't like it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you're mid on it, but...
Yeah, that was alright.
Oh, that's kind of a shame. I thought it's cool. I'm not entirely convinced by Mike's scream vocals, but I think it's interesting, and it's a nice little switch up in sound.
Yeah, I was like, this is happening in my ears right now, dude.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun to me. I think it's enjoyable. I really wanted to mention that it does seem like they're going through all of their eras, and maybe it's more of a celebration of their career before this for that reason. But either way, I think it's a pretty positive restarting of Linkin Park.
Hell yeah, dude. Speaking of positive, what was your score?
I have a 71 on this, being heavily drugged down
Ooh.
by Over Each Other and Stained. I really wish that it was more consistent to me.
You're gonna be mad at me.
Whoa, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm at a 36.
No, you're not. You said that what I consider the worst song, you said you have a 4 on. There's no way it's that low.
I'm at a 63.
63. I think that's totally fair. I think that's fine.
I had to get you.
Yeah. That leaves it at a pretty lukewarm 67%, which is like better than it could have gone, I guess.
I feel like it's fair.
Yeah, right. I mean, you've got someone in here who had hopes that were probably way too high to begin with, and you have somebody in here who didn't really like Linkin Park ever very much. So the fact that we came out well into the positive is good, I suppose.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too let down by it. There's just a couple songs I would skip every time.
Yeah, no, I might come back to a single here and there.
Yeah, I've been bumping Two-Face since it came out. Shit slaps.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But let's move on to a better new metal album. Up next we have Poppy with the Negative Spaces.
Hello, everyone. This review is a clip from the latest episode of the New Music Podcast. Every Thursday, we go through and we review several albums released in the previous week. If that sounds interesting, check the link in the description to see the latest episode. Also, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more music-related content coming your way. Your support is greatly appreciated.